Hello, everyone. Welcome to WDBJ 7 Plus. I'm Michaela Shelton. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Happy Wednesday. We have a jam-packed show for you today. We are, of course, going to get into your First Alert hometown weather forecast in just a little bit. We are also going to talk about this really cool butterfly exhibit that is returning to one of our hometowns for the first time since last year. But as always, we do want to first get into your top local headlines, and we are going to start over in Lynchburg, where the city has put in another burn ban into effect as of today. The Lynchburg Fire Marshal's office says the record-breaking high temperatures expected today and Thursday, combined with the low humidity, dry fuels, and gusty southwest winds, makes for increased fire danger. The Virginia Department of Forestry has Central Virginia classified as a Class 3 high fire danger. Now, the city is asking residents to properly dispose of cigarette butts, matches, and any other flammable items in appropriate containers. Most dry grasses, dead leaves, and other tree litter could easily ignite and spread fire quickly. And Governor Abigail Spanberger is making changes to some of the gun bills passed in the General Assembly. She calls the amendments common sense steps to improve safety. But in our hometowns, not everyone agrees on those changes and what they could mean. Our very own Layla Mitchell spoke with people on both sides about the impact.
The governor's amendments focus on several key areas, including banning future sales of certain assault-style weapons, strengthening background checks, raising the age to purchase some firearms to 21, and requiring safe storage in homes with minors.
My feeling is we need to target the criminal and not the law-abiding, responsible gun owner.
Galbraith, owner of T4 Tactics in Lynchburg and a former law enforcement officer with decades of experience, says his concern is who these laws will impact most. He believes the focus should be on preventing crime, not restricting responsible gun owners.
Not one of my guns has ever snuck out of the house in the middle of the night and killed somebody. It goes back to the person. And my feeling is we need to target the criminal and not the law-abiding, responsible gun owner.
Delegate and avid supporter of the Second Amendment, Tim Griffin, is raising concerns about the legal impact this will have on the Commonwealth.
Virginia is going to be in unnecessary litigation with the federal government because they've decided to infringe on Second Amendment rights.
Supporters and sponsor of the assault weapons ban bill say the goal is to reduce gun violence and close gaps in current law.
I don't want to be a state where we wait until mass shootings occur and then we do something. We want to make sure we prevent gun violence, and that's the key word is prevention. And that's what this bill is aiming to do.
Governor Spanberger said in a statement that she supports the Second Amendment, but with gun violence the leading cause of death for children and teenagers in America, it should motivate everyone to ask themselves what they can do to mitigate harm. But critics argue it could lead to more confusion and unnecessary interactions.
The majority of people I've spoken to, they are not going to follow these laws, and that's unfortunate. I don't tell them to disregard the law, but I think that's what we're going to see, is people are just going to disregard it.
A debate now centered on safety, rights, and how far the state should go.
And that was Layla Mitchell reporting there. We also have an update to a story out of Martinsville that we've been following closely for months. After months of back and forth, the city has released its forensic audit. This comes after the city fired its city manager and the city's mayor is currently suspended. The forensic audit shows that hundreds of thousands of dollars were spent and moved around with very little approval or even oversight. What we've learned so far is that the audit shows the former city manager, Aretha Farrell Benavides, used the city's credit card for thousands of dollars of expenses that had no documented business purpose. The audit also shows changes were made within the city budget without notifying the public or even city council that resulted in Farrell Benavides and her staff getting raises, and in some cases, raises of more than 40%. Now, our very own Colby Johnson is actually looking into this story today. You can see his reporting tonight at 5 and 6. And fiber is an essential part of a healthy diet, but it hasn't always gotten the recognition that it deserves. So in this Hometown Health, our very own Amir Massenberg explains why one dietitian is calling fiber the IT nutrient of the year.
It's primarily found in plant-based foods like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes. Fiber is known to aid digestion, but it also has a host of other benefits.
Fiber provides prebiotics, and prebiotics feed the good gut bacteria in our stomach to help them grow and flourish.
Julia Zumpano with Cleveland Clinic says gut health is more important now than ever. And fiber is the key component of that, which is why she calls it the IT nutrient of the year. But if you're going to increase your fiber intake, take it slow to avoid stomach distress. Begin by being mindful about how many plant-based foods you're eating in a day.
We usually say try to include 1 to 2 fiber-rich foods with each meal.
For breakfast, Zumpano says that could include Greek yogurt with berries topped with nuts and flaxseed, or some eggs with veggies scrambled in. She says a fiber-rich lunch could include a salad or a veggie soup, and dinner is some sort of protein with a whole grain and whatever veggie side that you enjoy. There are fiber supplements that can provide some benefit as well. But Zumpano says it's best to get the nutrient through your diet if possible because fiber-rich foods can help keep you full, slow down the rate of glucose absorption in the bloodstream, and help to manage weight and cholesterol.
There's so many other benefits of fiber, so if you're consistently aiming to meet your fiber needs through your diet, you're only going to maximize those benefits.
Zumpano says there are long-term benefits of dietary fiber as well. She says it also lowers risk of certain cancers, especially colorectal cancer, by keeping bowels regular and clean. For your Hometown Health, I'm Amir Massenberg.
And those were some of your top local headlines for this Wednesday. But don't go anywhere. We will be right back after this quick break. We're going to be joined by one of our meteorologists to talk about your First Alert hometown weather forecast and this heat that we have been seeing lately. And then later in the show, we are going to have an interview with a museum from one of our hometowns that is bringing back this amazing butterfly exhibit. They've got butterflies from all over the world. So you're not going to want to miss that. Definitely stay with us. We will be right back after this quick break. Welcome back to WDBJ 7 Plus. I'm joined now by meteorologist Tanner Brammer. Tanner, thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah, how are you doing? It's pretty nice today, right? Or
Yeah.
aren't you at the end of your week?
Yes, so today's technically my Friday, actually.
Nice.
So in that sense, I'm doing very good.
Yes, yeah, but I'm sure it feels like, okay, you're at the end of your week. You're ready to be done.
Yes, in fact, I think I'm going to hit up the pool maybe tomorrow
Oh,
or Friday.
wow.
Not actually getting into the pool because
Yeah.
obviously it's not open, but like
Yeah.
the pool area is open to the apartment complex. So I may lay out and finally get a little bit of tan, that way I don't blind everybody with how white I am at the pool later this
There
summer.
you go.
We'll
Yeah,
see what happens.
ease into it.
Yeah.
Try not to get too burnt. That's the thing. Definitely want to make sure use some sunscreen and everything like that because it's gonna be a hot one this week.
Yeah, absolutely feeling like the middle of summer. In fact, we probably are going to see a good bit more sunshine to go around for today than what we've seen over the past couple of days. In fact, yesterday we did see more sunshine than Monday, but still saw a little bit of cloud cover during the afternoon that kept our temperatures just a little bit below what we were expecting. We only hit 84 for a daytime high in Roanoke yesterday. Today, probably going to be a good bit hotter. You can see on this live shot looking all across the area, a lot more blue sky to go around. Probably not as much cloud cover as what we saw yesterday, and especially compared to what we saw on Monday. But the main story, not really the hot temperatures more so as it is the dry conditions that we're seeing as of right now. Now, the drought monitor that you're seeing here, this is the same one that we've been showing over the past several days. It only updates every Thursday. So this is the one that came out Thursday last week. There's going to be another one that comes out tomorrow, and me personally, I wouldn't be surprised if that orange color you see that's associated with that severe drought is expanded a little bit farther westward. And in fact, you can see some pockets of red on that map indicating that extreme drought. I wouldn't be surprised if that's extended maybe a little bit farther northward into parts of the viewing area as well. But that has increased the fire risk across most of the region. Number one, due to the dry conditions, and number two, due to the warm up of those temperatures already at 80 degrees right now in Roanoke, which is absolutely wild to talk about at 11 o'clock in the morning in the month of April. Our average high is only 70 degrees for this time of year. We're already 10 degrees above that while it's still the AM hours. Absolutely wild stuff that we're seeing across the region for today. But highs are probably going to top out well into the 80s, even the low 90s in a couple of areas, mid to upper 80s across most of the New River Valley. 91 for a forecasted high today in Roanoke, and not only would that be the first time that we hit 90 degrees in Roanoke this year, but it would actually break the record high that we have, which is only 89 degrees. That was set back in 1936, and we're looking to break, if not tie, some record highs all across the region. In fact, Blacksburg, your record high is probably going to be crushed as it's only 83 and you're forecasted for 88 degrees. But it's like I said, the main story will be the increased fire risk across most of the region. So a few things to keep in mind when you are out and about. Number one, try to avoid those open bonfires if at all possible. In fact, Michaela was just talking about it at the top of the show. You got those burn bans already in place across a couple of counties, across some parts of the region. Number two, something to keep in mind, try to avoid driving over that dry grass as well. That very hot undercarriage of your car, that can be hot enough to potentially create a spark that could very well ignite into a wildfire. And I do think that's something that a lot of people do underestimate, is that all you need is one little spark, one little ember to be fired off, catches onto a dry blade of grass, and that's how that fire starts. And given how dry the grounds are and how much fuel there is for these fires to work with, these fires can really start to spread rapidly if they are started in the first place. And then the third thing I also really want to harp on, because also a lot of people don't think about this, do not throw those lit cigarettes out the window. I cannot stress that enough, because there have been quite a few times I'll be driving down the road and I'll see somebody flick their cigarette out the window here over the past couple of days. It's that lit cigarette that, again, can catch on a dry blade of grass and can potentially start a fire, maybe a brush fire on the side of the road or anything of that nature. In fact, Michaela, you were talking about it at the top of the show. This is really kind of a time period where people really have to be aware of what they are doing to help prevent those fires.
Yes, no, I'm really glad you brought that up because, I mentioned a few tips, but going even further, talking about the cigarettes and the cars being on dry grass, it really is something you don't really think about until, fire season comes around and we do see these droughts. So yes, good advice there.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'd like to say that we're going to get some relief in the next couple of days with these dry conditions, but unfortunately, that's probably not going to be the case. We're going to be dry going into tonight. Temperatures quite mild once again, not really for any big reason other than the fact that we're simply just so warm during the day today. We can only cool off so much at night. A lot of those overnight lows tonight, pretty similar to what you woke up to earlier this morning, more into the mid to upper 50s and low to mid 60s. Sticking with those partly cloudy skies, and if anything, it's going to be just as warm, if not ever so slightly be, I don't even want to use the word cooler. I'm going to say less hot than what we're seeing today, with those highs staying steady in the mid to upper 80s for both Thursday and Friday. Still well above average for this time of year, but we are giving you the first alert on the next big thing we are tracking, which could be a cold front making its way through this weekend that could give us some relief in the way of that heat and potentially the chance for a few showers as well. In fact, I'm very happy to say that rain chances have actually increased a little bit going into Saturday night and early Sunday. Here's the big picture setup that we are expecting. Still on track to see that cold front make its way through overnight Saturday night. That could very well bring some showers into a good portion of the region. Now, as things are looking right now, unlike what we saw over the past couple of days, it does look like the potential for a setup where most of the region could see a measurable amount of rainfall, which it's not going to be drought busting by any means. Don't get your hopes up for that, but it could be a situation where, like I said, 80 to 90% of the region could see maybe a tenth of an inch, maybe a couple tenths of an inch of rain, which isn't a lot by any means, but could maybe put just a little bit of a dent in that drought monitor. And obviously that cold front is going to make its way all the way through by the day on Sunday, and that's going to bring much cooler temperatures for the second half of the weekend. If you're like me and you don't like the hot temperatures, then Sunday is going to be a much better day shaping up. Highs back down into the low to mid 70s, with those lows probably into the mid to upper 50s Saturday night. And then you look at early next week, it's going to be even cooler going into Monday. Highs back down into the low to mid 60s, which, believe it or not, is actually below average. And we're going to be either ever so slightly below average or ever so slightly above average for the most of next weekend. Michaela, I remember you and I were talking about it yesterday morning. You know, it is a good idea to break out the summer clothes this time of year, especially when temperatures get this hot. But at the same time, don't put those winter coats away just yet, because we're looking at next Monday night. Lows could very well be down into the 30s across most of the region, which is wild to think about given what we are seeing here over the next couple of days.
Yes, and I'm just grateful I'm going to be in Florida by then. I do not have to worry about the winter coats.
Yeah, exactly. You don't have to worry about the chilly temperatures or anything like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. But unfortunately, I did actually look at the forecast this morning for the Fort Lauderdale area, and
okay,
it kind of looks a little similar. It's in the 70s, which I was not expecting. Like
for
this
the daytime
week,
highs.
Yeah. This week
Wow.
it's 80s, and of course when I get there I'm bringing the cold with me, I guess. Yeah.
I'll tell you what, you know, for Florida, highs in the 60s and 70s, I know that's like Arctic weather for them.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm still going to be fine. I'll be in Florida, so I don't care, you know, as long as I'm there and on vacation, can't complain. But yeah, for everyone here, got to get through this heat spell, and then I'm glad to see some showers coming in for the weekend, just to, you know, help with this drought that we're seeing, because I know a lot of people, farmers in the ag industry, are struggling right now, so that'll be good for them.
Absolutely.
All right, thank you so much, Tanner. And for those watching, don't go anywhere. When we come back, we are going to take a look at an exciting butterfly exhibit that is coming to one of our hometowns. Stay with us to see more about that. Welcome back to WDBJ 7 Plus. Thank you so much for staying with us. I'm now joined by the Executive Director of the Danville Science Museum, Adam Goebel. Adam, thank you so much for being here with us today.
Absolutely, Michaela. Thanks for joining me.
Yes, of course. And yeah, of course, I wanted to have you on because, as we know, Earth Day is next week, and the Danville Science Museum has something really cool in store coming up for us. And that is the butterfly exhibit that y'all have coming back to the Danville Science Center. So, talk to us a little bit about what people can expect from that.
Absolutely. So, some brief history behind the Butterfly Station. What started as a community service project back in 1997 has now blossomed into a very attractive, very, very popular seasonal exhibition called the Butterfly Station and Garden. So it usually opens in the middle of April, as we all know, and as some of your viewers may know, around here, that last frost sometimes comes later on in April. So that's what the timing of it, but usually around the third week in April. This year, it's going to be April 18th from 12 until 3. And the event basically marks the grand reopening of the Butterfly Station and Garden for the season. It will open on that day and it will close sometime weather dependent, sometime in the middle of September. But that event is always a fun event. It's always great for the entire family. Older people enjoy it just as much as younger people. We'll have crafts and activities for the young kids, all centered around butterflies, life cycles, pollinators, so on and so forth. We'll have the master gardeners on hand to answer any questions for anybody interested in possibly starting their own pollinator garden at home. And then, of course, we have the fans of the show, our butterflies. They will be arriving here Thursday and Friday from Florida and Texas, and we will probably be releasing about 200 Friday afternoon, all ready to be seen and put on a dazzling show Saturday from 12 to 3.
Oh, wow. Well, I did not know they were coming from that far. That is
That's
awesome.
right. Yeah. So that's the beauty of this space. It's the only one in the region where you can not only see native butterflies, which is butterflies that live around here, but our permit allows us to actually house non-native species. So we get butterflies from Brazil, Texas, let's see, the West Indies, Central America, South America. So it's a chance for visitors and residents of the region to see butterflies that they would not normally see around here.
Right. Yeah, that everybody loves butterflies, but it
I tell
sounds
you what.
very educational too. So just talk about, what people can come and also kids can come to learn about, Friday and then the days after.
Yeah, absolutely. So Saturday is the main, like I said, the main event, Butterfly Hello. But the Butterfly Station will be open every day. We are open from here all the way through September. Currently, we are open Wednesday through Sundays, 9:30 to 5, and Sundays 11:30 to 5. But after Memorial Day, we will also, for the summer, be open 6 days a week, Tuesday through Sunday. All that information can be found on our website, www.dsc.smv.org. But what visitors can expect, like I said earlier, there will be butterflies, non-native butterflies from all over the country that they will be able to see. They'll learn about the life cycle of the butterfly, what types of plants to plant to attract certain types of butterflies. As the season progresses, you will actually get to see all 4 stages of the life cycle. So we have host plants in there where certain species will lay eggs, caterpillars will hatch from the eggs, so on and so forth, create a chrysalis, and metamorphosis occurs, and out comes an adult butterfly. That will obviously not be available Saturday because we are just getting our butterflies in Friday, and that takes a little bit of time to establish and develop within the Butterfly Station itself. But it's a great place to bring field trips, families, school groups, youth groups, church groups. The Butterfly Station is open. It's a timed experience. So it's a 30-minute experience every day at 10:30, 12:30, 2:30, and 4. So at any time throughout the day, our guests can check in, go out and with an educator, we'll show the chrysalis cages, kind of talk about the process of metamorphosis, the types of plants that are in there, and also just the importance of pollinators in general, right? Because as we well know that pollinators are very, very important to us. If you like fruits, if you like that kind of stuff, that happens because of these butterflies and bees. And they are very, very important. They're a huge conservation piece within the greater part of our ecosystem. And that's what we try to make people aware of.
Right.
And that's done, like I said, through those timed experiences. A lot of our field trips. Wait until we open the butterfly station because it's a huge draw for field trips in the area. I think last year we had over 10,000 kids come through.
Wow.
So it's a real popular experience. And like I said, it is one that is a timed experience, but thanks to generous support from some local foundations, the Womack Foundation, the Helen S. and Charles G. Patterson Jr. Charitable Foundation, we were able to have that experience free. So guests can check in at any of those timed experience in either one of our facilities, and they will be let out there where they'll have an educator with the chrysalis cage and talk about, like I said, the life cycle, the importance of pollinators, the host plants, and so on and so forth. And we're only able to do that because of that local foundation private support.
Wow. Yeah.
But the activity, like I said, the event itself, Butterfly Hello, will be from 12 to 3, and it will be open the entire time. Those timed experiences will start Sunday, April 19th, but Saturday from 12 to 3, it will be open the entire time. And like I said, that is a free event. It's a free family event. Obviously, if you do want to check out our exhibition galleries or any of the movies in our Digital Dome Theater, there is an add-on price for that. But the event itself, admission to the station that day, as well as the activities and stuff, are all free. So we're hoping for a good time. Looks like it's going to be some beautiful weather.
Yes, no, for sure. It'll be perfect and free. You just cannot beat that. I think everyone nowadays is looking to save money somehow. And so also when it comes to taking your kids, on trips and doing fun things, getting them off their phones, that is just perfect. So that sounds amazing for families in our area. And so if someone does want to go, is this a, walk-in thing, or do you need to sign up beforehand?
For the event, the Butterfly Hello event this coming Saturday from 12 to 3, they can just come and show up. We'll have staff around guiding them, leading them towards where the activities are, where the entrance to the seasonal butterfly station is, which if any of your viewers are aware of where we're located at the crossing at the Dan and the historic passenger railway station, it is right off the side of it between the train station or the science station and the Carrington Pavilion, just for location purposes. But no, they can just come and show up. Now, if they can't make it Saturday and want to come throughout the week while we're open, either on Sundays or Wednesday through Saturdays, all they have to do is check in at either one of our guest services desks, tell them that they're here to see the butterflies and check out the butterflies only. And then the timed experiences are 30-minute experiences from 10:30 to 11, 12:30 to 1, 2:30 to 3, and 4 to 4:30 daily. So anytime during those time frames, they can come check it out and see and get inspired by all the cool looking butterflies, like I said, that many of them, there's a good chance they have not ever seen before.
Right. Yeah, that is amazing. And so, for people that are interested in coming, what can they, expect? I know we talked about the butterflies and things like that, but will there be, like a person kind of walking them through, or is it just a help yourself and walk in and experience it?
That's a great question. It's not an experience where they just walk in and can do and see and explore how they want. But the good side of that is it gives us the opportunity as educators, as staff members, to really highlight the importance and talk about those different life cycles and, the facts behind the butterflies and how fast they grow and how much they eat as a caterpillar, as a larva, as well as the plants. A lot of what people are interested in is how can we attract these butterflies at our house? And that's what we like to talk about, and that's what we like to promote. Because let's face it, pollinators need as much help as they can get.
Yes, they do. And who doesn't want to see some butterflies even out at their own home? So that would be really cool to find out there. And y'all did this last year too, correct?
That is correct. And like I said earlier, the Butterfly Station opened in 1998, and we've done it every year since.
Wow.
Now, what we have done, we have changed the dates a little bit, the times, excuse me. Earlier, it started at 10 a.m. And what we were finding is sometimes on those first Saturdays when we open it up, it hasn't really warmed up a lot and the butterflies aren't very active. The hotter it is, the more humid it is, the more active they are. So we shifted our time frame to a little bit later on in the day, starting at noon, to hopefully give the butterflies time to wake up, warm up, and get ready for the show.
Yeah. Hey, I feel the same way. Sometimes we all need a little more time to get
That's
up and
right.
get going. And so that is
But no,
interesting, though. I didn't know
we've
that.
done it every year, and really, it's just a kind of a historical event that signifies the grand opening.
Hmm.
The butterfly station will be open all the way through, probably about the middle of September, weather dependent. And honestly, the hotter it is, the more humid it is. Usually, those June and July months is where you'll see a lot of the activity. But if you want to have a chance to see them first out of the gate for the season 2027 season, 2026 season, Saturday from 12 to 3 will be your chance to experience that.
Right. Awesome. Yeah, definitely don't want to miss that. Thank you so much, Adam, for joining us
Yeah.
here. Was there anything else you wanted to touch on or talk about that maybe, we didn't get to?
No, I mean, other than just like I said, everything is on our website. Our website's very well built out with all that information. It also goes over all the other cool things that you can see, do, and explore while you're down here.
Hmm.
We've got 15,000 square foot of public exhibition space. We've got a touring exhibition gallery right now, Science Unplugged. A little spoiler alert, May 23rd, Curious George opens. Let's get curious. That's always
Oh.
a very popular exhibition wherever it goes. And then looking forward a little bit further into the fall in September, Wildcrats Ocean Adventure will open and be here through the end of the calendar year into January. So there's always something new, always something different to explore. If you feel like, hey, I've been there before, seen it, done it, it's always something different. Our
Right.
challenges in our creativity lab change every week. So each week there's a new challenge. We have new movies and features and specials in our theater throughout the year. And then again, like I said, we have touring exhibitions, usually 2 to 3 times a year, a different exhibit comes in.
Right.
So
Perfect.
it's always a little something different. And the best thing about it, the kids, the guests, the grandparents, the parents, everyone involved, they are having fun, they are enjoying themselves, and they don't even know they're learning, right?
Right. Exactly.
That's
And
that's that's the beauty of it. It's all hands on, all interactive.
yes, yes, exactly. And what better way to celebrate Earth Day than going out to the Danville Science Center? I mean, it sounds incredible. You can see some butterflies, learn about science, and everything in between. So, Adam, thank you so much for coming on to talk a little bit more about your new butterfly exhibit that's happening on Saturday. I hope that goes well. I know it will. And for those watching, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with more WDBJ 7 Plus after this. Well, thank you so much for staying with us here on WDBJ 7 Plus. We hope you enjoyed this show. Make sure to stay tuned, though. We will have our weather show coming up at 2 o'clock on Plus. And then, as always, our hometown sports huddle will be at 6:30, and all three of those shows are Monday through Friday, and you can catch us over on our website WDBJ7. We're also streaming on Facebook sometimes, and then you can always watch us on your smart TV or your phone. So definitely want to take a look at that. And we also have a special coming up at 3 o'clock on our Here at Home show, and that special is called Breaking the Silence, and it is about sexual assault awareness. So that entire hour, they are going to offer hope and help anyone who has suffered from sexual assault. So definitely stay tuned for that. We also have our 12 o'clock newscast coming up here in a few minutes. So as always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m.